All right. Well, I'm going to get started here. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah?
Yep.
All right. I was going to say, everybody be dead silent if you can't hear me. Hi, everybody. I'm Lee Schaefer. I am the campus director for Emory Hillel. Congratulations, all of you, on having your children be part of this incredible, amazing, wonderful university that is the envy of everybody around the country. I cannot tell you how excited we are to meet your kids. Some of you are on your second and third kids coming to Emory, so congratulations on almost being empty nesters. Hopefully that comes for me soon. Love that as well. And for those of you who are going to Agnes Scott, welcome to the crew as well. You are very much part of the family. I want you to know that. I don't just say that facetiously. Agnes Scott students have always been a big part of what we do at Emory Hillel. So I want you to know that you're in the right place. As not just Emory and Agnes Scott, we also work with Oglethorpe. We work with a lot of the smaller universities that are around the Atlanta area, and there's quite a few of them. We try our best to give a home for all of those students as well that might have Jewish roots on some of those campuses. So anyway, I'm Lee Schaefer. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I have Lindsay Rosenzweig and Tessa Scharf on the call as well, and they're going to introduce themselves in just a few minutes. But let me share my screen. Hold on one second. Oh, I think I'm doing it wrong. Again, I am an adult who does not know technology well, so please bear with me. I actually rehearsed this on my own before I got on the call, and this is the best I got for you. So hold on. See if I share first. There we go. Okay. I can't see anybody, so can everybody hear me right now?
Yep.
All right, good. And everybody can see the screen?
Yep.
Okay, woohoo! We got it going. All right. So basically, this is the first time that we've ever done this. So it's going to be a little trial by error as we go through this. We wanted to kind of provide a place where you can learn about what we are doing, who it is that your students will actually be working with, why we choose to do this, and kind of figure out all together what it means to really be part of the Jewish population of Emory University. And as you'll see as we'll go through this, being Jewish at Emory, it's not just about the students. It's about all of you. It's about faculty. It's about the community of Atlanta. It's about rabbis in the area. It's about the camps that are in Georgia. It's about all the day schools and everybody else, the youth groups. Everybody's got a piece of what it means to be Jewish at Emory University, and the amount of contacts that your kids have access to just being part of the alumni groups that come through and the leadership opportunities that we have that are going on. It is an amazing thing that you'll see, and your kids will hopefully have lots and lots of connections when they are finally through being undergrads at Emory. So I want to start by looking at a little bit of the agenda. So we are going to introduce ourselves briefly, and I am long-winded, so that is hard for me, but I'm going to do my best to shorten it. Then we're going to talk about, why Hillel as a choice, and also talk about some of the other options for Jewish students on campus. And we want to talk about what is it that we can actually offer your kids, because it's not just a monolith of programming. There's lots of different categories that we'll get into. Then I want to actually get into some of the metrics that we look at to tell if we're being successful doing, all the things that we plan on doing. I want to show you, I want to dig into it a little bit, kind of show you how the sausage is made so you can see what it is that I look for when I'm looking at success. Then we'll talk a little bit about how you guys can help. What part do you play in all of this? And then we'll talk about some final tips and takeaways. And as we go through, if you have questions, please just ask. and I will spend all the time in the world with you. I'm going to try to keep this to an hour so that we can all talk together and I can get you guys out of here, especially those of you on the East Coast who might have younger kids. We're trying to get out of here as soon as we can. So I want you to meet the team first, and I'll start with me because I'm talking. I'm the campus director. I started at Emory Hillel in February of 2024, but rewind 20 years ago, when I was leaving college, I started my career in Jewish communal work working for BBYO. Then I became a regional director of BBYO, and then I met my wife when I was living in Atlanta, and she didn't want to move to Florida where I'd been the regional director, so I came back to work for Hillel at UGA, at the University of Georgia, and I was there for 3 years, and they were incredible years. But my wife wanted to move back to Atlanta instead of Athens, so I got into healthcare and senior living for the last 17 years, where I've been a VP of sales, worked with some amazing companies. Senior living was kind of a passion for me for a long, long time. But after October 7th, my wife and I had a conversation, and we basically both agreed that, it was time to go back and really, work with students again and offer all the skills that I had learned over the years, bring them to the students so I could help them navigate the waters of post-October 7th world. So that is me. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. I've got a dog. I live in Alpharetta, Georgia. I'm always available, frighteningly so, for you guys if you ever need me. So, Lindsay, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Rosenzweig. I'm the new Student Engagement and Program Coordinator here at Emory Hillel. I put a few fun facts on the screen so you can kind of get a little bit of a laugh, maybe. But beyond the facts on the screen, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, so not that far from Atlanta. I actually spent my last 2 years living in Orlando, Florida, working at Central Florida Hillel as their Springboard Fellow. So I was a previous staff member on a different Hillel team before coming here. Had an amazing 2 years in Orlando. As you can see from my first fun fact, I do have a Disney annual pass and I live by it. It's going to expire very soon because I live further away now. Um, but beyond that, I've been very involved with the Jewish movement, especially in the Georgia area. If anyone's familiar with URJ Camp Coleman, that is my summer home away from home. I can talk all day about camp. So if any of you have camp children, just know that we're going to be talking camp at one point or another. And then one last little silly fun fact about me. I had a betta fish as a kid, and I got this fish right when I decided I loved sushi, so I named him after my favorite sushi roll because that's the type of child I was. But I am so excited to be working with your students. They probably, if they haven't heard from me, they're going to very soon, either Tessa or myself. My role is to make connections with your students. So I'm so excited to meet them and really connect with them. And I will turn it over to Tessa.
Hi everyone, I'm Tessa. I am the new Springboard Innovation Fellow here at Emory Hillel. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, and I graduated from UC San Diego. And so I'm also new to Atlanta. So I'm kind of in the same boat as all the incoming freshmen. And fun fact about me, I love to travel and love exploring new places. I'm so excited to get to take a lot of you guys out to coffee chats and just get to know everyone and answer any questions. And I'm just really excited and, can't wait to hear. I really want to hear what the students want to do and plan programs to give you the best possible experience.
Perfect. Thanks, Tessa. I do want to introduce Einav Namani. Now, Einav, she's still in Israel, so it would be very late there, I think. So I didn't want to wake her up in the middle of the night. But Einav will be here on August 5th. Every 1 to 2 years, universities get what's called an Israel Fellow. And really, their job specifically is advocacy and education of Israel on a campus. So it's not just about pushing, one narrative or another narrative. It's about educating Jewish students and non-Jewish students about the joys of Israel and what Israel can be for its people, and what it means to cook Israeli food. And it's a well-rounded position that Einav is actually a trained social worker. So she's going to bring a whole different experience to this role when she comes. The students are going to absolutely adore her. She's done delegations in Germany, New York, and Israel, as you can see on screen. She's a trained social worker. She's got her master's from Ben Gurion University. I think she speaks more languages than that. Those are the three that she told me, but I think she also speaks German and Dutch, I think she said. So she knows a lot of things, and she's also very much of an outdoorsy person. So she wanted me to let you guys know that she wants to do hiking. She wants to do wellness programs with your students and your kids. And she wants to make sure that they have a well-rounded experience, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, all the different things that go into that. She's going to try to fit Israel advocacy and programming around the things that she loves, which is really what you really should do as a Hillel professional. It's not necessarily about what we want, but it does help when we're passionate about what we're trying to do. So when students come to us and say, well, we want to do this, do you have any experience doing this? It helps if we say, yeah, I like to hike. Not saying me, I hate to hike. I don't want to go outside at all. But Einav loves to hike. And I think Lindsay said she loves to hike, right? Lindsay, didn't you tell me that once? Maybe not? Okay. Lindsay didn't like hiking. Okay. Anyway, Einav will be here on August 5th. So you guys will all get a chance to meet her at the welcome events. We'll talk about those in just a few minutes. If you just joined us, please enter your information into the chat. You'll see people are entering in their name and their email address in case anybody wants to connect after this. And we're going to talk about why that's important in just a few minutes. But I want to start with why Hillel, some of the differentiators that are on Emory's campus, and some of the things that you may see from program to program. So if you look at it from a breakdown, about 20% of the undergraduate population at Emory is Jewish. That's about 1,200 students. It's gotten as high as 1,300 a few years ago. It dropped. It depends on what the freshman class is and how many students graduate on a yearly basis, but it's always about 20% of the undergraduate population. If you add in the graduate population as well, it's about 25%. But we kind of focus on the undergrad population for now. And when it comes to options on Emory's campus, there's a ton. So aside from Hillel, which is really your home away from home as a Jewish student, you also have Chabad, which does Friday night dinners as well as us. And they also do obviously more religious-based programming. A lot of students will come to Hillel on a Friday night and then go to Chabad after. A lot of students who are on the student leadership boards of Chabad are also leaders at Hillel. We are one of the only schools that I could tell you that actually has an incredible relationship with Chabad and the other Jewish organizations. We don't look at things as a competition. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, they fight for students, different things like that. It's really not true. At Emory, it behooves us as an organization and as Jewish professionals to get along with everybody. And Chabad does some great things. I would never say that they're this or that. They do some great things. Mayor is another Jewish organization on campus that does a lot of individual group programming, like the Jewish business leaders, Jewish medical students, Jewish law students. They do a lot of social advocacy. Again, their leaders are also leaders in Hillel. There's no real competition when it comes to that. Tamid is an Israeli startup kind of organization where they create entrepreneurial projects with Israeli startup leaders and different people that help them do that for mentoring programs. We have Eagles for Israel and EPAC, which are two Israel advocacy organizations on campus. You have multiple Jewish fraternities and sororities on campus as well. In fact, if you look at the entire Greek system as a whole at Emory, I think the latest number was 30% of the entire Greek system is Jewish. So it doesn't even matter if you're in a Jewish fraternity or sorority, you're going to have other Jewish students in your Greek chapters. Even Tri-Delt, I think, is 30% Jewish. If anybody knows Greek life, that's saying a lot. ATO has a lot of Jewish students. Pike has Jewish students. Like these are weird things. Tamid, that's supposed to say the TAM Institute. I already said Tamid. The TAM Institute is a world famous organization for it's anti-Semitism studies and Middle Eastern studies and Jewish life studies. And we have professors like Deborah Lipstadt at Emory and Ken Kite and all these different people that are world leaders in teaching about these subjects. We have Professor Eric Goldstein, who wrote the history of Jewish Baltimore, is an advocate for their museum there. Like, there's all these different people that are at Emory that you will have a chance to get to know as your students are there. So, Lindsay, do you want to talk about why Hillel is different than other programs on campus?
Yeah, so again, I speak as someone who worked at a previous Hillel before coming to Emory. I grew up very involved in Hillel at my undergrad, Elon in North Carolina, if anyone's familiar with it, go Phoenix. But the nice thing about Hillel is Hillel kind of encompasses all different areas of Jewish life. We coined the phrase all kinds of Jewish. So whether you come from a Reform background or an Orthodox background, everyone is welcome at Hillel. And we really try to create this well-rounded sense of programming so that you can get involved in whatever way suits you. So if your student comes in and says, I just really want to learn more about Israel and do Israel-focused programming, great, we have Israel-focused programming. If they're like, I just want to be social and make Jewish friends, great. We're going to have social programs where they get to meet other students who are Jewish and spend time with them. If they're like, I really want to build my resume and get some leadership experience, we have a student board. We have different roles throughout Hillel where our students can get involved and really play a part in the leadership here in our organization, because we really do believe that this organization is for the students. I like to believe that it's student run, staff supported. So if a student has an idea, we're going to ask, how can we help you make this idea possible? And we want to work with that student as a partner in making that idea possible. Cultural programming. So that kind of ties into everything I've said about social. We try to include religious aspects around the high holidays. We do offer high holiday services and programming for the different chagim. So there's different ways that your students can get involved. And really, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that they're getting involved. There's no specific way that I'm telling them to do so. And, if I identify that there's a student who's really meant to be a leader in Hillel and maybe they don't realize that, I might push them a little bit to be like, hey, maybe consider a leadership role with us. You would be a great fit. The other thing I'll say that's not necessarily on this list, we have a lot of learning opportunities. So I kind of joke, this is the one time in college that your student is going to be paid to learn and not paying to learn. We offer courses like the Jewish Learning Fellowship, Kol Yisrael, the Holocaust Learning Fellowship. And these are sessions, HLF, our Holocaust Learning Fellowship, is actually run by two of our students. So it is student run for the students. The other two courses, JLF and Kol Yisrael, those will be run by staff. And it's a really great opportunity to incorporate a little bit of tech study into it. There's a social aspect. You're meeting for 1 hour for about 8 weeks on average, 1 hour a week. And at the end of it, if your student shows up to all the mandatory sessions, they get a stipend out of it. So they're not going to this for nothing. They're getting a cohort experience. They're learning, they're connecting with others, and sometimes they get a meal out of it. Don't quote me on that, but
Not
we try to
sometimes,
incorporate.
Lindsay. Always. There's always food.
Always.
Don't listen to Lindsay. There's always food.
So if money is not an incentive, maybe food is. Who knows? Everyone has their own reasons. So with this all being said, Hillel provides so many different experiences and ways to get involved. We're going to be offering a whitewater rafting trip over Labor Day weekend. So if any of your students are into that, please let me know because I'll get them on the list for that. We're going to have leadership trainings and the last thing I will say is we also offer a birthright trip. So if any of your students are thinking about how do I get to Israel for free, good news. We offer that experience and they can go with other students throughout the state of Georgia. I think I covered everything.
I think you were very thorough, Lindsay. Way to go. That was good. Like Lindsay said, there's no shortage of ways the students can get involved. And for us, it's really interesting because we don't follow kids around. I know it's a weird thing to say. How do you track students? What it actually is engagement. Like, it's this buzzword that people have. To me, a student who comes to 15 bagel breaks to grab a free bagel and walks away but never talks to us is not an engaged student. I don't care if they've been to 15 programs or not. But the same student or a different student who hangs out at the Hillel building but's never been to a program before, but they're there every night and they're doing their homework there and they meet with other students and they're there till 11 o'clock, they'll never show up on any lists, but they're thoroughly engaged with Hillel. So there's different ways to judge success. And I want to show you kind of what I look at. And I go over this stuff with Lindsay and Tessa a lot. The reason I want to tell you guys this is because you will have an active part in this as their parents. They're never going to listen to you. So I want you to get that out of your head right away. The second you tell them to do anything, they're not going to do it. But there are subtle ways to suggest people do that. And there's certain things that I look at to see if we're doing a good job on our side to make that clear. So the first thing that I look at every single program that we do, I want 20% of those students that are there to be there for the first time. That means that we are offering interesting programming. It means that we've made a connection on campus with your kids. It means we've actually gone out of our way to invite them to do something, or our other students have invited them to do something, and they are actively trying out Hillel at least once. I like 20% of everybody to come there. Last year, 17% of the students throughout our programs were first-time students. So we did pretty good. We almost hit that metric right on the head. So that was pretty good. The next one is there should be a maximum of 14 days between the first time they come and the second time they come. And the reason for this is that judges how well we're doing when they first come to a program. And Lindsay and Tessa and I are talking about this all the time. What does it mean to welcome your kids in? Is it an individual thing where they want to have somebody come right up to them and talk to them immediately and tell them all about all the things we do? Or is that off-putting to some of them and sometimes they just want to observe? Every student is individual. Every kid is individual. We want to be constantly vigilant about individual students' personalities and what's going to make them want to stick around. But it is imperative on us to welcome them every time they're there. The next one is there should be at least 5 more events that student attends after their first. And the reason for that is because that means that we're running good events. And that means that we have a diversification of different things that we're offering, like Lindsay was just saying, with cultural programming, Israel programming, spiritual programming. There's no reason that a student can't come to get bagels every Thursday, but not also do a JLF program, or not also come and do karaoke at the building, or go bowling with us, or do different things like that. We have to offer a diverse enough program schedule that students want to try out different things. And the last metric that I look at is that there shouldn't be more than 30 days from the student's last event of the year to the end of the year. And the reason I look at that is I don't want students losing interest throughout the year. If we're doing what we're doing right, we are making sure your kids have interesting things to see with us throughout the entire year, from the first day where we do the welcome back brunch all the way to the last day when we're doing parties before graduation. We want there to be things that interest your kids all the way to the end. And that doesn't mean that we're just going to do giant programs at the beginning of the year and in the last week of the year. We want there to be something successful every day. And you can see from our results from last year, we're still working on it. You know, like a lot of times high holidays come in that last quarter of the year. So you don't, I don't really look at that as something as their last program. That's more, sometimes they feel like it's an obligation they have to go, but we can still be engaging them while they're there. They can come to Seders, they can come to all different kinds of things that happen. And we just want to make sure that we are offering the best versions of ourselves that we can do. So how will we know when we're improving? Well, it's pretty easy to see. Emory Hillel needs to be a name brand on campus. And when I say a name brand, that means that if somebody on campus says, I'm going to a Hillel program, the students automatically know it's quality. That is when we will know that we're doing things the right way. Right now, a lot of students still think of Hillel as, oh, it's a place you can go get a Shabbat dinner, or it's a place that you can go, to a holiday party, a Purim party, or something like that. We want it every program we do. We want students to say, oh, Lindsay and Tessa are throwing that program? Oh my God, it's a great program. I don't even have to ask. Now, we already know it's going to be quality. Oh my God, the student board of Hillel is running a program? It's got to be great. because we know they've had great leadership training, and it's going to be really good as we go. And when it comes to leadership events, Lindsay touched on a little bit. This is going to be our inaugural year of being we're part of Hillels of Georgia. I didn't even mention that at the beginning. Emory Hillel is part of the wider Georgia landscape. So it's us, University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State, Georgia College, all these different schools that are part of the umbrella organization of Hillels of Georgia. And this will be the first year that are offering the Levin Silberman Leadership Institute. So I don't know how many people on this call have heard of Mike Levin. He's a very, very famous philanthropist, very, very wonderful man and family. He has decided to put his weight behind Hillels of Georgia this year, and he is organizing this leadership conference for any student who wants to go, that wants to have leadership training. All they've got to do is ask us. It's a 2-day conference in September. All expenses are paid. You don't have to worry about anything, and the students get to learn from Fortune 500 business leaders in the Atlanta area and guest speakers and all these different people that Mike Levin has decided that Hillels of Georgia is the place he wants to do this. So we're always doing things like that, and we want to have 50 students come to every one of these events that we do. And then ultimately we want to have 80% of all the Jewish students on campus come to events. So if you're looking at 1,200 students, give or take, that's 900 students that we want to come to at least one program. We had 870 come last year, so we're doing okay. We feel like we had a really, really successful year this year, but we want to be better for your kids, because your kids are the future of this organization. And if we can create leaders out of them now, or if we can create students who love our programming, or who want to be in our building, or who want meals with us, and they know they can trust us, and they feel safe and happy with Hillel, they'll be there all 4 years, and it'll work out great for all of us. So what's coming up next? Let's talk about our opening week events, because this all concerns you guys. And what you'll see on the screen, I'm going to let Lindsay and Tessa talk about these programs, but what you'll see on the screen, I created RSVP QR codes for these different things. You don't have to RSVP to any of this stuff, guys. It's anybody can come in, anybody can come to our Shabbat dinners, anybody can come to our welcome back brunch. But if you'd like to RSVP so I can get a relatively close count of how many people might want to come, I'm not going to tell you not to RSVP, but you're not required to. So, Lindsay, do you want to talk about the move-in Shabbat and the welcome back brunch we'll talk about after this?
Yes, amazing. So our 2 first events of the year are going to be our annual move-in Shabbat. This is pre-orientation Shabbat. So I will say this is typically a little bit of a smaller event because not everyone has moved in yet. But for anyone that's in town and available, it's a nice, intimate Shabbat dinner, services led by our students. And it's a really great way to come together early as a community. We'll have catering, we'll have dinner. Not much more I can say about that.
Not much more you can say about that. This is the big one.
Yes. So welcome back brunch is really our big kickoff of the year. For all of you, first of all, Lee said it and I will echo, I would love to see all of you there. Please come if you're available. It's a great chance to learn about all the Jewish organizations that are available on campus, and it's a great way for your students to meet a variety of our student leaders. I'm in the process of reaching out to all these Jewish partners on campus that, as Lee mentioned earlier, we have so many different ways for Jewish students to get involved with the Jewish community. So our goal is to have representatives of every single Jewish organization on campus at this event. And they'll have little tables set up where your students get to meet them and learn about what their organization is about, and hopefully get them in touch with those organizations. If they're passionate about Israel, putting them in touch with our Israel groups on campus. If they're passionate about religious programming, putting them in touch with those people. If they want to learn more about Jewish Greek life, putting them in touch with our Jewish historically founded organizations. So this is a great place for everyone to come together. Most of the groups on that first slide that you saw when Lee went over all the partners, sorry, there's a storm outside my window right now. They will all be there. And I'm still communicating with them to ensure that they'll be there so that your students really can meet as many people as possible. And of course, Hillel will be there as a presence, also giving information about what we'll be doing and what's coming up. We'll be having signups available for our Jewish Learning Fellowship. If that's something your students are interested in, that's our learning course. If they're interested in first year leadership, we are going to be opening applications for our first year committee at Welcome Back Brunch. So, and of course, it's brunch. Food will be provided. Who doesn't love a good brunch on a Sunday morning? So this happens right before orientation begins, I believe. So it's a really good way to wrap up the moving in process before your students start with the crazy schedule that is orientation.
Yeah, and just another note about the Welcome Back Brunch, Lindsay, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but this year we're actually, one of the things that I've often thought about when it comes to Hillel is there's certain groups that we have not been great at reaching when it comes to interest levels, and one of those is the arts program. We don't have a good enough arts program at Hillel. We're working on that this year, but this year at the Welcome Back Brunch, I am going to be showcasing a Emory student's artwork. Her name is Josephine DeMarco. She is an incredible artist, and we're going to have her work displayed in our gallery. So I'm really excited for all of you guys to kind of see this. We really want to start showcasing the talent of some of our students. So if any of you have any students that are artists or do anything that they're really, really good at and they're passionate about and they want to share that skill with others, please let us know those kinds of things, because we want to give them the opportunity. If your kid is a musician and they want to perform, we do open mic nights. We want to showcase their talents to as many people as we can. So I'm really grateful that Josephine is going to allow us to show her art in the gallery this coming fall. So looking forward to that. There were about 200 students who came last year to this. So it's a great opportunity for you guys to meet other parents, but also for your kids to meet other students that are just coming in and are also terrified that they're about to start college. And, it's a great place to be. I want Tessa to talk a little bit about first year student programming and kind of her vision for what this may look like. First year programming is one of the most important things that we do. Tessa, why don't you tell a little bit about what we do?
Yeah, so as a first year, it's really, it's a change. Leaving home from the first time, especially if you're going, far. I know a lot of you folks are we have a lot of students come from like New York and from Los Angeles, and I know some that just moved that it's scary. I remember when I was a freshman, I was actually a freshman during COVID, and when I came, I actually lived on a campus, and Hillel actually reached out, and it was like a very, very, very great place for me, especially during a time like that, to feel like I, again, like had a Jewish home away from home. So something I want to do for the first year programming is I'd love to do kind of like a series of exploring Atlanta. I'm new here, you all will be new here, and kind of just going different places. So whether it's, a sporting event, or, we go to the botanical gardens or an event, I'm all for hearing again what people are interested in. I want to do some self-care nights. I want to do craft nights, baking. But again, I want to do what the students want to do. So while I can have all the ideas in the world, the best ideas come from the students. We want the students to help come up with the ideas. Hillel is primarily student-led, so we want the students to come up with the ideas. So I'm so excited to hear what people are interested in, because we want to help make it happen.
Yeah, Tessa, you couldn't have said it better. That was perfect, because it is so important for students when they're new to a campus to make all those different kinds of connections that are out there. So that's why most of the programming that Tessa is talking about is socially based programming. It's, you can have a theme, you can have a mission for the students, but ultimately it's about creating connections. They might find their best friends. They might find their next roommates. They might find, love. You never know. I mean, anything is possible when it comes to being new on a campus and not knowing anybody and being part of a group of people that's all learning about stuff together. So thanks, Tessa. We're really looking forward to all of your programming. I want to talk about Facebook groups for you guys. There's different ways of social media that we look at. I don't have any QR codes for this. I tried everywhere to try to get a QR code. So if you want to join any of the groups or pages, all you gotta do is reach out to us and we will send you a link to these. But there's two major parent groups on Facebook. One is called the Emory University Jewish Parents, and there's always things on there. There's also the Emory Parents Against Anti-Semitism, which is a little bit more, I don't want to say politically leaning, but it tends to get a little bit more conversational than the other. The Emory University Jewish Parents is much more about, you know, I need a roommate. I'm looking for this. Do anybody know this professor? Kind of thing. The Emory Parents Against Anti-Semitism will be much more about, all right, does anybody know what's going on with President Fendis and all these other things that are happening on campus. So you'll have these options. There's also another page that exists for students that are studying abroad. I didn't link that because that's not really relevant to this conversation, but it is out there. And you'll also find niche groups. There is an Emory Hillel Facebook page, but we really concentrate most of our focus on our Instagram page and different things like that. So you'll see, like, that's our Instagram. On the left, we also have a TikTok page that we're just starting out with. You can see the last posting looks like it was in 2023, right after October 7th. Oh, no, that's not even October 7th. That's March. I can't read. I'm sorry. My glasses are really foggy. No, I mean, we haven't really done much with TikTok, but it is something that we are going to attempt to work with this year. Like I said, we do have the Facebook group as well. So there's all these different groups that you can follow. For your kids, there's a WhatsApp group that will give all the information, all the different calendars, all the different things that are going on. It's a great group to join. Tessa is our facilitator of this group. There's also a new thing that we're trying to start called Mighty, and I'm going to tell you guys about that later on. And I don't want to really get into that today, but Mighty is a network that it's supposed to be social media for college students, specifically like an event planning kind of platform. So we're going to be playing with that this year. We haven't really gotten it off the ground yet, but I will be sending that stuff out as we go. So it comes down to how you can help. Listen, guys, I'm not on this call right now begging you for money. That's not what this is about at all. I just want to let you guys know we don't charge membership fees. So if anybody's ever tells you that you have to pay this, you have to pay that, we don't charge membership fees. All of our funding, all of our programming, everything comes from parents and alumni and community groups and faculty and grants and different things like that. Obviously, we would welcome your support. I'm not going to tell you that we wouldn't welcome your support. Obviously, we would. In a couple weeks, you're going to be getting some emails from Hillels of Georgia talking about different opportunities that are out there. There are specific funding opportunities that certain campuses look for. For us, it's things like Shabbat dinners and sponsoring high holiday meals and different kinds of programming. You'll see all that coming up in the next few weeks to months. I'm not asking you to worry about that right now. I just want to let you know if somebody asks you to pay a membership fee, that's not coming from us. We don't charge membership fees. What we do need is volunteers for things like advisory councils, our mentorship programs. We need speakers for leadership events. If you are somebody who wants to be involved, we welcome your involvement. You are part of this family. I can't stress it enough when I say it's not just about your kids. You are just as much a part of this. I'm going to be sending you monthly newsletters specifically for all of you. I am going to be reaching out to you guys to see how you're doing. And if there's anything that we can be doing better for your kids, if there's something that we can help with, if we can connect them with people, if we can lead them to internships or mentorships, we're going to tell you about leadership events, but we want you guys to be part of this as well. Some of you I've already had deep conversations with on this call, and you know who you are, and I thank you so much for having those conversations. But we need more. We need mentors, guys. These students need to know that when they graduate, they have a place to go. So anything that you guys can do or want to volunteer with, there'll be plenty of opportunities that are out there. So final tips and takeaways before we get to your questions. I want you guys, everybody on this call, I want you all to create communication outlets with parents from your area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the information you guys gave me, and I'm going to send out basically an email list that you guys can share where you're from, We already have a Westchester parents group. Some of you that are on this call are already part of that group. I want to emulate that in every area, specifically in places that are far away from campus, like Los Angeles or well, not Boston, but Los Angeles. Like we have some students from Colorado. We have some students coming in from Utah. Like there are places that there aren't a ton of people around. So any kind of connections you guys can build. We need facilitators for those groups. We need people that are willing to share information as it comes in with those things. And those are things we can talk about. If you're interested in helping out with that, let me know and we can build those groups out. I want you guys to ask your kids questions. I know that once they're off in college, it feels like we shouldn't be bothering them. We shouldn't be telling them what they need to do. It is okay to suggest things to them. Sometimes all they need is that nudge saying, hey, why don't you go try this? We know you love bowling. We saw that there's a bowling event going on. Why don't you go do this? Especially if you feel like your kids are struggling in any way, if they have anxiety, if they need some help with anything, let us help. Let us be part of that solution for you guys. And you know, we offer all different kinds of wellness programs, and we have connections all over the Atlanta area that can help with a lot of different things. We have a full relaxation room within our building, also designed specifically for students that are stressed out and just need a place to relax. It has aromatherapy in it. It has flashing lights that are designed to lower serotonin levels. Like it's designed for them to be calm. We want people to be happy, and we're always going to feed them. So that's another thing that we're always going to do. We mentioned sharing the opportunities with your kids when you see them. If you see a leadership development program coming up and you think that's something that would benefit your kids, these are all resume builders, guys. Right now, getting a job out of college is really, really, really difficult. And all these connections that they can make and all these people that they can go and see and all the places that we can connect them to can lead to some great job opportunities down the line. So share these things when you see them. And we mentioned, get involved. We'd love for you guys to be part of our family and be part of us. We're not telling you your kids got to be here 30 times a year. We're not asking for that. It doesn't matter if they're here once, if they're here 100 times. We want that one time that they're here to be one of the best experiences they had at Emory. And if they come 30 times, we know that's because they've really enjoyed it and they've found something that means something to them. But there's no rules on this. As long as they're involved in Jewish life on campus, I promise you, we're happy. We are very much happy with that. And we will support them in whatever way we can. Hopefully they'll come to some programs here and there, but whatever it is, whatever their Jewish journey is, please understand that we just want them to be happy and safe and have a place to call their home. So thank you for listening to my speech and our speech. If you scan this QR code, it'll give you my phone number and my information. I'll just put it directly into your phone. And I will also share this presentation with all of you. I'm recording this call, but I'll also share the presentation so you guys have it and you can share it with kids or anything that you want to do up to this point. I encourage all of you to give us information about your kids so we can mail them welcome t-shirts and send them swag and make sure they understand who the student leaders are they can contact within their majors, and everything that we can do to help out, we want to be there for them. So with that being said, I want to open it up to questions. Anybody can ask anything about anything. I don't care. I am an open book, I promise. Now, you all know that I am not this good at talking. Somebody must have something. Yes.
I have a question. You mentioned
Sure.
other campuses such as University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, and others. How do you connect with them, and what do you do with them?
Okay, so yeah, it's a great question, Jay. I mean, Hillel's of Georgia, like I said, it's an umbrella organization. So Hillel's of Georgia will run leadership events. They'll run cross-campus social events like the whitewater rafting. We are always going to let all of our students know when opportunities are coming up. And Hillel's of Georgia is responsible for all of our day-to-day programming on campus. So your students, if I do my job right, should never pay a cent for anything while they're with us. Not food, not programs, nothing. I want them to come here knowing that their parents are already paying a lot of money for them to be here, and I don't want to charge them anymore while they're here, if that makes sense. And Hillel's of Georgia is absolutely a partner in making that happen. So when it comes to different kinds of programs, like for instance, last year we did what was called a content creators conference, which basically we brought in all experts of social media from around the country to teach students how to combat the social media anti-Israel bias that was going on throughout all their campuses. And they were given specific tools to train themselves to do things. And that was sponsored by Hillel of Georgia. So it's events like that that happen probably 4 or 5 times a year that all the campuses get together. We had Naftali Bennett come in last year and speak, and we had 96 students from all the campuses come to that program. So it's things like that. Does that kind of give you a small feeling of kind of what they do? Or were you asking more of a deeper question as to how they help?
Well, I was wondering about, is there any coordination between the different campuses, like sharing things and other events that they have that Emory doesn't have?
Yeah, absolutely. Their student leaders will meet with our student leaders, and they all kind of get together to offer different kinds of programs that are happening on their campuses that we think might happen on ours. Now, when it comes to things like UGA versus Emory, very different students. Like, I don't even know if I can qualify to you guys how different the students are when it comes to those two campuses, but a lot of them do know each other and they hang out and they do different things like that. The biggest things that they do are really kind of the social events that happen, and they'll coordinate different things between them. But we also, the campus leaders, like myself and their director, Jeremy, we meet to talk about how we do different things on campus that are going to have effects for, campus climate and different things like that. So we're coordinating as well as the students are coordinating.
Great,
And
thank
Lee,
you.
You're welcome.
Lee,
Yeah.
I would also like to add, from a staff perspective, we just spent the last 2 days all together as a Hillels of Georgia staff. So not only are your students connecting, but the staff do work together behind the scenes. We're sharing program ideas with one another. We're in communication about what's happening on each other's campuses. So there really is a good sense of collaboration among all of us.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that there are good ideas everywhere. And just because I haven't thought of it doesn't mean that it hasn't been thought of. And frankly, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of great things that have happened at other places that we can lean our hat on and try. And what I tell Tessa and Lindsay all the time is throw everything at the wall. There's no bad ideas. Let's do everything and see what works. And like I said, it's about asking your kids, what is it they want to do? The whole thing with portraying that student's art on campus came from a conversation just with me and her, like, hey, so what is it? What are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do? And she was like, oh, I'm an artist. And I went online. And I was like, oh my God, she's not just saying like she's an artist. She's a real artist. So we never know what we're going to find out or what kind of programs are going to come just from meeting with your kids. So who else has some questions?
Hi. I'm
Hey,
Sophia. Just thank you again for the tour when I came to
you're very welcome.
in
Thank you.
February. It really, really was amazing. And I actually enrolled to Agnes Scott right after that. So
Good. I knew you would. I knew you would. Yeah.
You
helped.
Yes. So I'm going to be going to Agnes Scott, but I'm coming from San Francisco, California, so quite a bit away, and I'm not too familiar with the Georgia area.
Okay.
And I'm going to be doing a bit of like traveling alone, like from the airport. So is there like a car service that you would recommend for both like Shabbat services or just like going around?
So occasionally there are shuttles from the airport from the schools. You would have to sign up for them pretty early. I know I have heard of it at Agnes Scott in the past, but I'm not sure if you've already missed that window. I really don't know. But that would be the first thing that I would tell you. Other than that, there are a number of other students coming from San Francisco. So I can maybe give you a list and maybe you guys can carpool from the airport. I know I have a transfer student coming from Occidental, and I know she lives in San Francisco. Lindsay, do you know who I'm talking about? We can talk about this offline.
Sorry, Lee. What I'll say, Sophia, is also if you don't have a car, the odds are you're going to meet someone who does
Yeah.
in this community. And for you being class of 2029, like I am not making this like an admin only speaks group chat type thing. So if you need something, if you are like, hey, I'm going to the airport on this date, is anyone available? Feel free to use this chat. Which I hope I can add you to the chat after this because I don't know if you're in it yet or not. But that chat is available to all the students. If someone needs a ride, if someone's looking for a roommate, this chat is for open communication. So if you don't have a car, the odds are there's going to be someone who has a car and also might be heading to the airport on the same day as you or from the airport the same day as you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have you met any of the other Agnes Scott students yet that are incoming?
I have met a couple, but not a lot that are like super interested in Emory Hillel, unfortunately.
Well, yet.
Yes,
Say
yes.
that. Yet. All right. See, we're very positive around here. I promise. We are. Listen, I can't help myself. I like to have fun with what I'm doing, and I know that I tell our staff that we work in the toy aisle of human existence, and we want this to be fun every single day. So I promise you, if you tell them that it's fun, they'll think it's fun, and we'll figure out ways to make this happen. And we will do some programming over at Agnes Scott too, so that you're not always having to come to us. We will always make the time. Like we do stuff for Oxford as well. I'm sure there's students on this or parents on this call right now that are students going to Oxford. I promise you guys, we do programming at Oxford, and we provide meals 3 times a month for Shabbat dinners for them. So there's always a group there. There's a student named Ram Zuckerman, who I believe, and Lindsay and I are arguing over this, but I think he is the leader of the Jewish Student Union over at Oxford. So if any of you have questions about that, we will introduce you to all of those students. They are going to be a much more active part of what we do this year, as is Agnes Scott, as is Oglethorpe. We're going to try our best to make sure that you all have that same connection that the Emory students do, because you're all in this together. I promise you. Atlanta, as big as it is, it's really a small place as well. So we want you to be part of that family. So we're really looking forward to seeing you soon. Okay, who else has questions?
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned Oxford. My son is going to go to Oxford, and I understand that you don't have anybody representing Hillel in Oxford. So I'm assuming he will have to contact you in the Atlanta offices, or how?
So it's a great question. There isn't an official staff member at Oxford. It falls under our purview, but we are always there. And for Friday night dinners or for events, different things, there's buses that go in between the Oxford campus and the main Emory campus in Atlanta. So we'll always let you guys know what's going on. We'll let you know exactly what programs are coming up, and we want those Oxford students to be just as big a part of what we're doing here. So they'll contact us. They'll be on the same listservs as all of our other students. So they would get all the same information. And when we do special programs at Oxford, we will let them know and try to get them all together as well.
Right. So is there like a chat or something that my son can go and connect
Yes,
to the people
that
that are?
WhatsApp group is a great place to go to. And there's also a group me that, Lindsay, if you want to share that in the chat as well, we could do that too. I think you could share that, right?
I will look into that group chat. I'm still learning the group chats that exist.
Yeah.
So, but what I can also tell you is over there, they operate under the name of like a Jewish student union, and there is a very solid group. And I know Tessa is in touch with one of their leaders today, actually. So they also operate in they do their own Shabbats. I looked through our events from last year. They had candle making at Oxford last year. They had a bagel break at Oxford last year. So they are a fully functioning group over there. We're just not there unfortunately, all the time with them. But once we get once we get access to the group chat that they have, we can definitely pass it along.
Yeah, we want them to feel that they're part of everything that we do, and it's imperative on us to make sure that we are the ones getting out there to know.
Yeah, but something that will be very helpful to us in the meantime, I did send a link in the chat if everyone is available to take a look at it. I really encourage your students to fill this out. This is a great way for us to figure out who our incoming students are. That way we can get them added into the WhatsApp groups too. Because this is our most streamlined way of getting student data of which of our Jewish students are here, how can we reach them? And if you fill it out, you can get some cool swag if you want. Actually, it's not if you want, we will send some cool swag to your student. So please, check with your student to see if they filled out this form. Some of them have because they've gotten texts from me to do so. I actually recognize a lot of your last names because I was in touch with your student already. But if they haven't yet, definitely encourage them to so that we can get them in touch with the right people.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Who else has a question? Anybody? I am so impressed that none of you have asked about campus climate at Emory. What is the situation? I would have thought that would have been everybody's first question. Anybody curious?
Sure.
Okay, let me let me give you a quick breakdown. So at this time last year, we were preparing for the worst. We just weren't sure what was happening and where this was all going. Emory had been very, very good about breaking up the encampment that had been tried on campus back the previous April. And there had been tension, but nothing like other states and other schools. So we weren't really sure what was going to happen. We went into last year with all these firm, thick plans that, you know, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. And what happened was not a whole lot happened. It was a really, really, really quiet year. The worst that we saw was some chalking on campus that was anti-Israel, but for the most part, there weren't any huge protests. There weren't really any major things that happened that we needed to be concerned about throughout the entire year, which was a wonderful thing. Like it was, as I've met a ton of you through tours and visits to different areas, I couldn't be prouder of the fact that Emory's administration is amazing when it comes to this stuff. And they're really responsive and they take care of the Jewish community more than you would ever believe. We are so incredibly lucky. Now, with that being said, our president has now become the chancellor. So there will be a new president coming in, but I've already scheduled a meeting with them and we're going to have a great relationship and everything I've heard is positive. There's a couple new deans that are coming in that also are pro-Jewish community, and we are playing with the ideas right now of what we're going to do from a security standpoint. I would tell you that Emory has been quiet, but then I would have also told you that Boulder is quiet. So we're going to have discussions with Emory PD and the Office of Student Religious Life, and we're going to determine whether or not we should have some plainclothes officers at all of our events this year. We're going to kind of play it by ear, but trust me, I work on this stuff every day. I'm in touch with the FBI on a regular basis. We do have a task force that handles all incidents, so you never have to worry about it going under deaf ears. Everything is, Georgia's a really great place to be when it comes to this stuff. I'm not going to tell you that there's not going to be protests, though. I mean, students have a right to protest. Students have a right to feel whatever way they feel about anything. When it comes to pluralism, we pride ourselves in being a home to Jewish students on campus, despite what their political beliefs are. We are obviously pro-Zionist. We're a pro-Zionist organization. We don't shy away from that. We don't hide from it. We believe that Israel has a ton to offer the world, and we are not afraid to say so. But we're also not against students being able to tell us how they feel about things. We have to have this dialogue, guys. And I know it can be uncomfortable, and I know it can be insensitive to certain people, and it can feel like we're opening up Pandora's box to some of this. But if we don't show all of our Jewish students love, we are risking far worse consequences in the future. So whatever your students think and however your students believe or feel, I promise you, we're not going to turn them away. We're not going to make them feel less than. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that they feel like they can call this place a home as well. So I want you to all stay in communication with me when it comes to this stuff. If you feel like your kid wants to have certain conversations that aren't necessarily comfortable, please let me know. We'll have those conversations. But it's about communication. It's about letting us know what we need to be on the lookout for and making sure that everybody feels safe. So campus climate wise, we're doing fine. We're doing okay. You guys all chose well. Your kids chose well when it comes to school. And I will be the first person to tell every single one of you if I have any concerns. Okay? Anybody else have any other questions or any comments about that?
Hey, I just have one quick question.
Sure.
Removal of the president.
Yes.
I felt like a lot of it was maybe due to the way he did handle things, which I was very happy about. I was
Yes.
wondering what your take is on that, and if you feel like we're kind of going on the downhill now with that.
So I had mixed emotions about that, Suzanne, honestly, because I too was very happy with the way things was handled on campus when it came to encampments. I will be completely honest to tell you that a lot of our students were not comfortable with it. And that's okay. Like I said, students are allowed to believe the way they want to believe. They were happy that the president showed that he cares about the Jewish community and wants to protect us. With the new president coming in, I'm confident. I know the Board of Trustees members very, very well. We have conversations. They have assured me that this is one of the main priorities, making sure that all of our students feel safe. And just based on the track record of Emory and the people that I've met and I've gotten to know over the year and a half I've been here, I'm extremely confident. And I know that's not shallow, it doesn't mean anything until we see it, but all I can tell you is based on the track record, I'm confident that they're going to get this right. Does that help at all?
Yep, it helps. I also know it should be temporary though.
Yeah, there's going to be an interim before I think they've already narrowed down the choice to the one they're going to take, the one who's going to become the new president. So I've been given little details here and there, nothing that I can really share yet.
Yeah.
Nothing is kind of firm, but I do know that based on what I've heard, we're going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys still chose well. Anybody else?
Sorry, I have one more question.
Yeah, of course.
Do you guys do anything for Kippur? Because this is the first time my son will be away for Kippur, and I won't be able to come there because I have another son, whatever. Is there something that happening?
Yes, we have full services on campus. So we do a Reform service, we do a conservative service, and we do break fast for Yom Kippur. So he will be fully taken care of.
So does he need to register for these, or?
Yeah, the registration link will go out soon. Obviously, again, students don't RSVP to anything. You know, I want to tell you that we've solved the riddle and they're all going to RSVP to everything. They're not. So if he doesn't RSVP, he'll still be fine.
Right.
But the link
Okay.
will go out. Yeah, all
Okay.
holiday services, Passover, Seders, we have them covered. Don't worry about it. We do Hanukkah parties, we do Purim parties. We celebrate holidays as they come and go. And if your son's looking for anything more religious, obviously Chabad is on campus. The Emory community is located in an area called Toko Hills. So if anybody's looking for a more Orthodox lifestyle, we have 2 Orthodox synagogues within a mile walk. We have Chabad. We have 7 kosher restaurants of all different styles within a mile, including Chinese, Italian, a burger place that serves fake bacon and fake cheese on their burgers. There's Greek. There's everything you could think of. Every kosher option is available. Emory has a kosher program on campus. We obviously serve kosher food every Friday night and for holidays, and all of our snacks and drinks and everything on site in the building are kosher. We always have snacks and drinks available, and we have a full coffee shop on site. So if your kids want to hang out with us and save money on Starbucks, we have a full coffee shop on site. So tell them to please take advantage of that.
Okay.
All right, it is 9:36, just over an hour that we spoke. Does anybody have any final questions? Like I said, this is being recorded, so if you want to share this with anybody else you guys know who has a child that's coming soon, please share it with them. I'll send out the link as soon as I have it. It'll take probably overnight for it to process. Then I'll send out the link. But I promise you, we are here for you. Was this helpful for everybody? I see some comments, and you're all welcome. We want to do this as much as possible. We do a monthly Zoom call with parents. So you'll always get the links to everything that's going out, and you'll all be put on a newsletter. So you'll get updates about everything going on. But please join us on our monthly Zoom calls. And like I said, be part of the family. We want you to be as much part of this as you can. For those of you who are on your last kid going to college and you've been through this game before, it's almost over. You're almost there. So we're here for you. Call me if you guys need anything. Call Lindsay and Tessa. Call Inav. We are absolutely here for you guys. So have an amazing night. We will see you all soon, next month. Have a great day.